Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Friday conversation with Father Pat. Father, thanks for joining us. And I know that this week coming up is Catholic Schools Week. I know you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so starting that last weekend in January is always Catholic Schools Week, so it runs all next week. And we have coming to our parish this weekend Frassati High Schools. So they will come and some of their students will talk at Mass, and we'll have a table available outside to answer questions about Frassati. Not just about enrollment, certainly that's part of what they want to talk about is enrollment, but something that we all need to think about, whether we have children that are high school age or preparing for high school, or grandchildren that might be interested. But we need to think about how we support Catholic education in general. Catholic education is just so important to the future, not just of our church, but I think of our society. You really look at the values that Catholic education instills. It used to be, well, that the Catholic schools, well, what value is there in them, and what value is there in the education, particularly in areas like this. Our public schools do a pretty decent job in the education, in the technical education, and in the learning, but there's so much more to the learning than just that, right? There's so much more about just how to be a person, the values and all that come into it. And that's where Catholic education really excels. I look at these students at Frassati, and I'm just so impressed with their leadership skills, with their values. They're at Frassati. They really teach them ethics. They teach them good Catholic values, good Catholic morality, and you can see a real difference there in the way they teach compared to the public education, and we need to continue to support that in our society, right? Not just here, but all around the country. Support that Catholic education so that we can instill those strong Catholic values. We continue to do that in our parishes, in our faith formation programs, and continue in our parish and continue to instill those values. And we need to continue to have that partnership with the Catholic schools in our area to continue to promote Catholic values all throughout our area.
I know also you want to touch briefly this morning, Father, on the big retreat that's coming up next weekend, not this weekend, but the 5th and Friday and Saturday of next week from today.
Yeah. Great retreat. We've been doing a lot of work this week in planning the retreat and getting the retreat all together. So the retreat, it'll start on the evening of February 5th with the healing mass. Always on first Fridays, we have the healing mass. With the healing mass, we have praise and worship. We have a new praise and worship band that we've been forming that'll be there at the healing mass. We'll have some times with praise and worship. After the mass, we'll have adoration with, again, some more praise and worship. Then on Saturday, we've got all sorts of activities planned with the retreat. So Saturday is First Saturday. So we'll have our First Saturday devotion, and got something special we're doing this weekend is we'll start with confessions at 7:30. So if you haven't been to confession in a while, maybe get up a little early, come down and come to confession before Mass starting at 7:30. We'll start with some prayers at 8 o'clock. Mass will start at 8:30. After Mass, we'll have adoration. If that's all too early for you, I understand. We'll start the Rosary at 9:30. Come and join us at 9:30 for the Rosary, and then we'll kick off the retreat right at the end of the rosary. By 10 o'clock, we'll be breaking out into groups, going out to reflect through the day. The afternoon, we have some service projects planned for the retreat. The whole retreat is about meeting Christ in prayer. The whole retreat is about prayer and different forms of prayer and how we pray in our life. And so you'll have that chance to experience different forms of prayer, from praise and worship, the Mass, silent prayer, praying the rosary, praying the Divine Mercy Chaplet, all of the different forms of prayer that we have here and how we pray. Prayer is just so important right now. It is just so important for us during all of this crisis, as we come out of this pandemic, as we come out, to really develop a strong prayer life. Prayer is hard during these times, and that's why we need to support and encourage each other in our prayer life, because prayer can become dry. It can become really hard to pray, but that's when we need prayer the most. That's when prayer is most effective. So I encourage you to come out, spend this day with us in prayer, learn about prayer, reflect on prayer in your own life. And this is such a great setup for our small communities, where in our small communities, our focus is on prayer. The communities that have been formed, the communities that met last semester, will be kicking off the new program coming here at the start of Lent in mid-February. If you're not part of a small community and you want to be part of a small community, now is the time to join. We're forming up small communities as we go. We had a sign up a couple of weeks ago at the Masses, but you can come out after every Mass. We have a welcome desk there now at the Mass, and you can sign up for the retreat. You can sign up for small communities there. You can call the office, send us an email. Lots of ways to sign up for either the retreat or the small communities.
And real briefly in close here, Father, last night you did an SSJU virtual session. Nice crowd that came, but some people had maybe some problems of getting on, so we're working on that as well, right?
Yeah, so we had some mistyping in the meeting code number there. So people who tried to get on by putting in the meeting code weren't able to get on. People who just clicked the link that was there were able to come on. So we had a nice group that joined us last night. We were recording the session. Hopefully that recording came out. If it didn't, I'm planning on re-offering the session. Of course, the session was on the Gospel of Mark, a very important topic for us here this year as we start reading from the Gospel of Mark here in this lectionary year. Every Sunday you'll be hearing from the Gospel of Mark, or most Sundays. I was able to give a nice little introduction to the Gospel of Mark, some things to think about. So you'll be getting more information as we have it on how you can access the recording from last night, and or a follow-up session that we'll be having in case you missed the session last night, just to get a little more information about the Gospel of Mark. I still encourage everyone here in these weeks to go out and just read the Gospel of Mark from beginning to end, just to make it a habit to just sit down in one or two sessions, right? Just to read through the whole Gospel of Mark. It's short, it's 16 chapters, easy read, and just to see how the whole flow of the Gospel of Mark works.
Father, thank you. If we do have that recording, then we'll send it out on our Saturday morning music flock note, and have everybody be able to access it if it's available tomorrow at this time. So appreciate you, and we'll see you Monday morning.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
Bye-bye.